Alright, gonna make a little short video going over Betsy's motor and everything we did to her. We started out, the bottom end is all new, board 40 over, all new cam lifters. All the machine work was done by a machine shop called Canyon Machine. Anybody here in the San Diego area looking for a good machine shop, would highly recommend them. They do very good work. Old school machine shop. The head's all redone. Originally these older 292s didn't have hardened seats in them, and they didn't have valve guides. Now we have hardened seats and valve guides in her. The motor, the paint on the motor's GM's GM blue, duplicate color. Everything was painted individual. That way we can see all the hardware on there. Don't like the look of a motor that you don't get to see all the hardware where everything's painted over. The ignition system obviously is new. It's a new electronic ignition. It's got double platinum plugs in it. The wires that I put on there, I never liked the way the wires always look. Everybody uses this right angle boots, and I didn't like the way that looked because you get wires going in all different directions. So I found these straight boots coming up off the distributor, and I think it makes for a nice clean look. All the black on here is all powder coating. Everything on the motors, new parts. We went ahead, and I didn't like the way cast iron manifolds look. These manifolds aren't painted. They're aluminum flame sprayed, so they won't rust and look like crap. The carburetor on here is actually, it's not a Rochester carburetor. This is a Holley 1-barrel that's on here. Originally I guess it should have a Rochester, but the Holley carburetor here works just fine. And going around looking at it, one of the hardest things to do on this motor was putting power steering on here. The power steering on here, it's not easy to find brackets that will mount a power steering pump onto a 292. Actually, they were impossible to find, at least I thought. So what I had to do was I found a set of brackets for 250 with an integrated head. Comes in a set of 4 brackets. The one here that holds it, the one that has the adjuster, and the support rod on here. But being that it was a 250 and it was an integrated head, it wouldn't bolt to my motor. So what I had to do was take the lower portion of that bracket and then take and build some plates that would bolt up to 2 holes on my motor that I got. But this also created a lot of problems. One of them is, you can see here coming out of the thermostat housing, you can see a right angle. That actually, the outside diameter where that is was a big fat bypass hose. and obviously that wasn't gonna fit inside the area because it was now taken up by the power steering pump. So what we did is we just tapped the inside of that boss with a 3/4 pipe plug, and then we had to get a newer style water pump for it, so that we could have a bypass. But that created a problem too, because that water pump is shorter than the original. So I had to have a spacer made between the water pump and the pulley to get everything realigned again. So got that done, got that on there, and seems to all go together pretty good. The bracket itself is, once I got it to where it was all lined up and welded in, it actually comes out pretty good. It almost looks like something Chevrolet would have made, not some big bulky thing. I've seen some people, some of the creations they come up with don't really look that good. I think this one came out pretty nice. Almost looks like something they would have made. And the other thing I had to do is I had to lengthen the support rod, obviously, because this is a 292 and not the 250. So, but we got it all on there, and as you can see here, everything lines up real nice. So everything's straight, and now I have a power steering pump mounted on the Betsy's motor. Came out pretty good, I think. So then I needed to come up with a way to make a run stand out of this, because it's going to be a while till the truck's ready. So I came up and made up a little exhaust for it, as you can see, with some flex tube and a couple elbows. The muffler I got off of there is from a local muffler shop. Guy he just cut that out of a 2015 car. Charged me $10 for it. So now the motor has an exhaust, so you can safely run it. You can see I made up a little hand throttle, so I don't have to keep reaching under, trying to grab the carburetor while it's running. So a little hand throttle there works pretty good. So you can see here, sitting on her motor mounts, on her 4 motor mounts. So overall, I think the look of it came out pretty good. The only thing, everything's new. The carburetor's not. The carburetor's rebuilt, but everything else on there, all the parts that wear out are all new. New AC Delco. It's got the the built-in regulator alternator to it now, so no more voltage regulator. And as we go around the motor a little bit more here, made up some new lines for it, and got her loaded full of some Royal Purple break-in motor oil, and it's pretty much finished motor here. Made a low control panel, so we got good look at the gauges and switches and choke for it. So but overall, I think it came out pretty clean. Didn't want to put any chrome on Betsy. I think tastefully done if you paint and pay attention to details and do things right, you can have just as nice of a motor You can if you put a bunch of bling on it and a bunch of shiny stuff. Overall, I think it came out pretty good. So, just a brief description and brief look at everything we did to the motor. We'll go ahead and end this, and we'll see. We'll see if we can't puff some smoke out of this thing here soon. So we'll go ahead and end it for now.